In the grand halls of life, where destiny's tapestry unfurls with threads both golden and shadowed, there are moments when the heart hungers for answers that may never come. Imagine, if you will, a vast imperial chamber, its marble pillars reaching skyward, echoing with the silence of questions unasked and apologies unspoken. Here, amid the resplendent drapery and the hush of expectation, stands the solitary figure of one who has been wronged, waiting perhaps for the sound of approaching footsteps, the murmur of regret, or the solemn weight of explanation. But the truth, as ancient as the thrones of old, is that closure is not a gift bestowed by others. It is not an ornate scroll, sealed with wax and delivered into trembling hands. It is not the whispered confession from a penitent soul, nor the gentle balm of an apology finally uttered. Closure, in its purest form, is a coronation of the self, a crowning of one's own peace, forged in the quiet moments when the world gives no answers. Consider the royal court, bustling with politics and intrigue, where alliances are forged and broken with the flick of a jeweled hand. Not every betrayal is met with justice. Not every slight is acknowledged. The sovereign who sits upon the throne does not wait for the errant noble to kneel and beg forgiveness. The sovereign rules, regardless. So too must you command the realm of your heart, even when the halls echo with absence. Letting go without closure is an act of profound courage, more formidable than any display of imperial might. It is the decision to walk away from the banquet of bitterness, to lay aside the heavy mantle of resentment, and to stride forward, head held high, even when your adversary remains silent. It is to understand, as the wisest monarchs have, that not every chapter ends with a satisfying conclusion. Not every conflict resolves with a treaty. Sometimes the story simply moves on, whether or not the final word was spoken. There is a quiet dignity in this. To release the longing for answers is to reclaim your power from the hands of those who may never offer what you seek. Imagine the imperial gardens at dawn, dew glistening on every leaf, the air fragrant with possibility. The gardener does not mourn the blossom that never opened, nor the fruit that fell before it ripened. Instead, he tends to what remains, nurturing new growth, trusting in the cycles of renewal. So too, can you cultivate your own peace, unburdened by the need for resolution from those who have departed your story. To let go without closure is not to forget, nor to dismiss the gravity of what has been lost. It is rather to acknowledge that your kingdom is vast, and that the echoes of the past, though haunting, cannot rule over the promise of tomorrow. It is to stand upon the balcony of your own life, surveying all that is yours, and to declare with sovereign authority that you are worthy of peace, even in the absence of apology. For not all who wrong you will seek forgiveness. Not every wound will be healed by a contrite word. In the great ledger of grievances, some debts are never paid. Yet this does not diminish your worth, nor does it bind you eternally to pain. The imperial heart knows that freedom lies not in the actions of others, but in the choices we make for ourselves. Release then the hope that those who have wounded you will one day send word, a letter of remorse, a token of understanding. Instead, turn inward, to the quiet strength that has always dwelled within. For closure is not a door closed by another's hand, but a gate you choose to walk through, adorned in the regalia of self-respect and newfound grace. Letting go without closure is a proclamation that you will not be ruled by unfinished business, nor held captive by the silence of those who have left your court. It is to gather the scattered pieces of your dignity and weave them into a standard under which you march onward, unbowed. The imperial path is rarely straight. There are twists of fate, betrayals, and unanswered questions. Yet the wise ruler does not allow what is missing to define what is possible. In the quiet of your royal chamber, by the flickering candlelight, you may still hear the murmurs of the past, whispers of what was said, or left unsaid. But let these be like the distant chimes of an old clock, marking time but not dictating its passage. With each breath, you choose to inhabit the present, to invest in the future, to honor your own journey above the unfinished stories of others. You are the sovereign of your own life, the architect of your own peace. There is power in deciding that your healing does not depend on the actions of those who hurt you. There is majesty in forging ahead, even when the trail behind you is littered with unanswered questions. For in this act, you reclaim the throne of your heart. Know this, you are permitted to let go, even if the world offers no apology, no explanation, no closure. You are permitted to walk forward, cloaked in the wisdom of your own resilience. Let your story be one of triumph, not because every wrong was righted, but because you chose to live free of their shadow. In the chronicles of your life, let this chapter be written in gold, that you found closure, not as a gift bestowed, but as a crown you placed upon your own brow. And in this, may you find the peace and strength that is your birthright, as regal and enduring as the sun that rises over the empire you command.